Hey y'all, welcome back to Sunday Supper with Sammy. We've got some good recipes and some good southern cooking happening this evening. But first, we start with dessert. It's a must. We are going to make a coconut cream poke cake, or just a coconut cream cake, whatever you want to say. And then for supper, we are making homemade southern fried chicken, some fried okra, baked beans, and probably some steamed broccoli. Baked beans and broccoli at the request of my youngest son. So that's what we are going to be making for supper tonight. And I am so excited. I already got my cake mix ingredients sitting right there. So that's what we're going to get started on first. I'm a little shaky today. Don't know why, but let's get this cake going so we can start on supper. But before we do the cake, I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken legs into some buttermilk and let those sit and get happy while we put this cake together. All right, so like I said, we need to go ahead and get these chicken legs. I just got the chicken drumsticks, chicken legs, whatever you want to call them. And I have about 12, almost, not 12 pounds, almost 6 pounds. That would have been a lot of chicken. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and open this chicken up. It's being sneaky. It's being tricky. Tricky. And we'll just throw this right in the bag, and then we'll put about, I don't know, a cup to a cup and a half of buttermilk over it so it can sit and be happy. I saw they didn't get something off. That one's broke. Gosh, I don't like this plastic tough anymore. And I know this probably sounds like a lot of chicken, but I have 3 men to feed and they love their mama's fried chicken. I wish I could get it to taste like my mama's, my grandma's. I've come pretty close to it. Still haven't mastered it yet. Let me wash my hands and we'll get the buttermilk. And I did go with fresh okra this time, so I was excited about that. All right, let me get the buttermilk. So I just went ahead and got my hot sauce out and my buttermilk. So we're gonna go ahead and open up both of those. And y'all, I broke my nail all the way back. It hurts so bad. All right, so we'll go ahead and add in, I'm gonna eyeball it. That's probably about a cup and a half. We don't need too much. We'll have to use some of it for our okra. Now we're gonna add in some hot sauce. Probably about a quarter of a cup of that. And all we're gonna do is make sure that it's closed very well. We'll give it a few tumbles around just to make sure that hot sauce gets all over that chicken. Make sure you have a good quality bag as well. You do not want this popping open on you, trust me. Now, we're going to put this back in the fridge and let this marinate and get happy while we put our cake together. All right, so I've got my recipe right here, which I'll have linked down below. Let me scoot this out of the way. We are going to start out with one. It says a 16.25 ounce package. You can't find that anymore, so we got a 14.25. It's just a white cake mix. You could use like a yellow cake mix if you wanted to, because we're going to leave the yolks in. We'll just open this, get that dumped on in. I always like to start with dessert, that way, you know, the cake and stuff has time to cool down. Now, actually, this recipe does not call for pudding. I had a full box, but I remembered where I made that last cake, the Kentucky butter cake, I still had a vanilla pudding open, so we're just going to use the last of that. That way I don't have to worry about it being open. Now we're going to go ahead and put our eggs in. But I think I've told y'all before that I like to crack my eggs into a container just to make sure, you know, they look pretty. Oh, and then you drop that bowl into your cake mix. That's a must. It adds so much extra flavor. Ain't gonna matter. We're just gonna keep on cracking. Keep on cracking. Don't drop it this time. Oh my goodness. See, this is just real life cooking over here. Making messes. I try not to edit these videos because I try to keep it as real as possible. That way y'all feel like y'all are cooking with a friend, which is what y'all are to me. I love y'all. So it calls for 1 cup of water. We're going to use milk instead. This is a 3/4 cup. So we're going to go over just a little bit. Now we're going to do, instead of melting down butter, I am going to use the oil that it calls for. So that was about 1/3. No, it says 1/2 cup. I was good. Daggone it. All right. Add a little bit more for safe measure. And let's see, what else do we need? That is it for the cake mix. So let me get this mixed together. I'm gonna start out using my bread dough, my bread hook, my bread mixer, my dough mixer, just to kind of get it started, and then I'll finish it with my hand mixer. I'm not gonna use my electric one. I'll just use a little whisk. Yep, y'all saw me sling it out of the bowl. I did it. I did it. First time in this night. All right. Y'all caught me singing a little bit. We're just gonna whisk this and try to get as many of those lumps out. Yes, I do have a hand mixer and I have a stand mixer, but sometimes I just like to bring it back old school, you know? When Miss May here couldn't afford to have any of them fancy electronics, appliances, not electronics, appliances. This is how I used to make all my cakes. So it works. It works just fine. We'll just scoot that off a little bit. Wash them hands. And I'm going to spray my deep dish 9x13 with some Baker's Joy, and we'll get this dumped in and get it put in the oven. Now the reason I'm using this deep dish pan here is because we've got to put the coconut cream layer on there, and then we've got another layer of the whipped icing. So I figured I would use my deep dish. Leo picked the cake out. We were either going to make a pina colada cake or we were going to make the coconut cream. He wanted the coconut cream cake, so that's what we decided to go with. My little spatula here. Put this here so it actually works right and doesn't block the camera from you all. I really don't do it on purpose if I block a camera. It just happens. Okay. It's really kind of hard to do it from this angle. If I had multiple cameras to use, it might not be bad, but I film, I edit, I upload, I do everything pretty much from my phone that I record on. I have an iPhone. I have a MacBook. Trying to sell it because I just can't master that thing and using my editing software, because I've edited so long on my phone and it takes a while to teach an old dog new tricks. Let me just say it that way. I want to make sure I get all of that off. I'm sure Leo will want to lick the bowl. Him and Josh both have loved doing that since they were little. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this into a 350-degree oven, and we're going to bake it for about 28 to 30 minutes. So we had to take a periodic time out because these two are hungry since it's 4 o'clock. They're going to tell you about it. They're telling on me that I haven't fed them yet. Yeah. Yeah. I do believe that's the only time of the day that they are completely quiet is when they get fed in the evenings and the mornings. I think it's their favorite time of day. My sweet little babies. So we just took our cake out of the oven. What we're gonna do is go ahead and make our the coconut cream topping. So let's go ahead and get all of this in this bowl and get it mixed together so we can bring over that cake and poke some holes in it. All right, so this calls for 15 ounces of cream of coconut, which this can is just right under 15 ounces. So we are using the entire can. And yes, it does separate like that, but it's perfectly fine. We'll just mush it all around and smooth that out with the whisk. I haven't used cream of coconut too much. I know you can make a lot of drinks and stuff with it and smoothies, but this will be the first, I think this is the first time I've ever used cream of coconut, to be honest. It always has that, I guess, like a fat plug on top of it where it separates from the milk and stuff. All right, so we've got that mixed in there. Now we need a half a cup of sour cream. And I'm just gonna eyeball this. We will stir that in there. Okay, now we're going to take this entire can of sweetened condensed milk. It's 14 ounces as well. We'll just scrape that on out. This is going to be a very moist cake with all of this on it. Now you can refrigerate this cake overnight if you wanted to. We are going to have it refrigerated for a little while. It won't be no overnight, but it'll be a few hours. All right, so that is well combined. Now I think I'm gonna add just a little bit of coconut extract to the mix. It's got some coconut in there, but you know, you can't have too much in my opinion. And this is what's gonna soak down in that cake, so I really want that coconutty flavor to come out. That's perfect. So I probably used about a 1/4 teaspoon, if that. So we're gonna scoot this off to the side without spilling it. I might have moved y'all back a little bit. We're gonna put our pot holder down and then put our cake pan on top of that. Just gonna use another chopstick and just poke holes in this cake. I love poke cakes. I usually make like a strawberry jello poke cake and I put the vanilla pudding on top and then put Cool Whip. Oh my goodness, I learned that from Fallon. She makes some good cakes too. She's all the time making some yummy Southern cooking. But I don't have to tell y'all that. I'm sure y'all know her. She is a sweetheart for sure. Okay, now that we have those holes poked in the cake, just want to make sure I've got one everywhere. And maybe one right there. That looks good. We're going to take our mixture and pour this entire thing over this cake. Oh my goodness. And I guess they want you to do that while it's hot, so it just absorbs right in there, and that way that coconut cream will melt down into the cake. And we're almost done with this. This is a slow process. And it does, that's a lot of, you know, liquid, but there's also a lot of cake in there too. Okay, now it says you can cover it and put it in your fridge so it can cool completely. I am going to cover mine, but I'm not going to put it in the fridge because this pan's still a little hot and I don't want it like shattering or anything. So I'm just going to put some foil on it and set it over on my counter to let it cool for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'll put it in the fridge. Okay. Just dump that whole can. Tried to find my smaller pan and I could not find it, or pot, I should say. Smaller pot, not a pan. Get all of them beans out and make a mess with it. Now we are gonna take, I can't get nothing to come open today. I don't know what the dealio is. It's like they put the tear here sign here and then they all sit back secretly and they laugh at you because you can't get it open. We're gonna dump some of the fully cooked bacon pieces in here. And we're gonna add in some Kinder's mild barbecue sauce. I love this stuff. It just adds a little bit of zing to your beans. There's another rhyme, almost. Zing to your bean. Okay. Now that's just to taste. I really don't know how much I put in there. So I guess you would just, you know, stir it up and taste them once they cooked a little bit and see if that's enough of the barbecue sauce or if you would like more. I'm also going to put a little bit of onion powder in here. Now I just have these on like low to medium heat. A little bit of onion powder. This is also to taste. And then, of course, we're going to throw in some Badia. Not a lot, just a little, but just season till your little heart's happy and everything will be good. So we're just going to let these cook low and slow and let those flavors come together. Not much to that. We'll just cut that on and let it boil come time. And we're going to go ahead and get our stuff ready for our chicken. Y'all, I done threw my hair up because it got hot in this kitchen. Now I'm getting ready to take the puppers outside so they can use the bathroom so I can keep on cooking. But like I said, we are going to get the chicken ready here in just a minute. Barbecue sauce or something on my finger. All right, so let me do that. Then we'll get started on the chicken. But like I said, I think I've said that 3 times now. We're going to get started on the chicken. You know, 4th time's the charm now. But I will get out my seasoned flour and I'll go ahead and show y'all where I got that from or where you might be able to find it at. I bought it locally at a little country store up the road. But hopefully, if I show you the name of it, maybe you could look at the place where it come from and then order y'all some because it is the best ever. Oh, y'all, I hope this is okay for lighting because I have to turn that off. It's just adding to the heat. I did get my chicken out. I have it sitting over here. Now, I told y'all I would let y'all know where this seasoned flour come from. Like I said, I got it at a little country store. But it's actually Boonville Milling Company out of Boonville, North Carolina. I'm guessing that's how you say it. That's how I would say it, but this is how it comes, and that's all the label that's on it. So I would just look up Boonville Milling Company out of North Carolina and see if y'all can get some of this, our best seasoned flour. So good, y'all, so good. So like I said, I've got my light cut off, but we're gonna just cut the tops off of these and the little bottoms, and then we're just gonna slice these up to about yay big and put them into a bowl and get some buttermilk going on these. That's why I was saying I was hoping the lighting would be okay. My ears are wanting to ring. Oh, I had a sweet friend on here and said that fresh okra is the best, so I was excited when I found some at Food Line. So we're gonna give it a try, and I'm sure it is, because, you know, fresh rather than frozen, sign me up. So we're just gonna throw all that in here, besides the tops, of course. I don't think he can eat them. But the boys do not care for fried okra, but me and my husband sure do, and we'll eat this whole batch, this whole pound of okra, so it's not going to go to waste, that's for sure. So I think my whole entire childhood has been ruined. But growing up in the South, you know, we had okra all the time. I know it's not just a Southern thing, but I asked my Alexa how to say okra,
Okay, but which language do you want me to translate to?
English. She's not gonna do it now.
Okay, but which language do you
Alexa,
want me to translate?
hush. Anyways, she called it okra. So have I been saying that wrong my whole life? I think I'm still gonna call it okra and not okra. It just don't feel right calling it okra. I can't get past it. It is. That's sad that you know, that's a pound of okra in there. AKA okra. But it is washed, and we're going to pour some buttermilk over top of that. So it's really not going to take much buttermilk at all. We're just going to kind of give it a little coat like that. And now give that a stir. Basically, it's just a binding anyway, so I think I'm going to do a little Nature's and a little Badia and some pepper. Oh my, I'm having fur ball or something. Now we're gonna give that a stir together. I might have to end up turning on a light here in a minute, y'all. Okay, now my cornmeal has flour in it already. So we're just gonna break that up a little bit. Pour that right over the top. As you can see, the flour in it now. And we'll just give that a mix. We need to get some yellow cornmeal. Okay. I'm having a hard time believing it's already 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. So this chicken has been marinating pretty good bit. We're gonna go ahead and drain this buttermilk out of it. I gotta show y'all this real quick. Mason's down here snoring. Peppy's coming to check things out. Are you snoring, Mason? Huh? Are you snoring? You sleeping good on this Sunday afternoon? So I turned a little bit of a light on. Hopefully it doesn't make too much of a shadow, but I just don't want that big overhead light on. It is warm, and I'm trying not to let it get too much warmer, I should say. So in this bowl, since our chicken has already, you know, been in the buttermilk and the hot sauce, this is going to be our dipping bowl. We're going to put a good amount because I've got a lot of chicken in there. Like I said, you could always add more to this, but you can't put it back in the bag once you're done. And I am going to add a little bit of this black garlic seasoning to this, and let's see. I think I'm gonna do this buttery poultry blend by Cavender's. I'm just gonna do the big side of it. And of course, we gotta have some salt and pepper in it. It does have a little bit of salt in there, and pepper, of course, because it's seasoned. But I always have to put my own spin on it. And there we go. Now, we'll just get a little spoon here and give this a good stir together. This does have paprika and everything in it too. But you got to make sure your food is well seasoned. Nobody wants no bland stuff. Now I have this dish right here to where I can just get my chicken, put it in the flour, and put it over here in this dish. And we'll just use this, you know, to put it out into the frying pan. So you just get you a chicken leg and you cover it. Sorry, y'all. My hand hit the tripod. But I just like to give it a good coat, make sure everything is in there. And yes, I will probably end up making a disaster, but it is perfectly okay. Now these are pretty fat chicken legs. So they're going to take probably about 10 to 12 minutes on each side. That's how I like to do mine. Like I said, I like to give it a good coating. I don't remember how many chicken legs I had. I just know it was almost 6 pounds. So we'll see as we go. But I'm going to go ahead and flour these on up. I don't double dip my chicken. We don't like a lot of breading, but this does get nice and crispy. Oh, it got dark in here. I think some clouds are rolling in. I finished up this chicken, and I believe there is either 15 or 16 pieces of chicken. I know, that's terrible, isn't it? I'm going to end up having to turn another light on. Hold on just a minute. Let me shed a little light on this situation right here. Is that better? Does that bring everything to life? Okay, so now that I've got that cleaned up just enough, wipe my hands off, put my buttermilk up. So we have all this chicken here. As you can see, it is coated and nicely yummy in my tummy. Let's go ahead and get my big cast iron out, and I'll show you what I do to my oil to get this fried up. All right, so I have got my cast iron skillet right here. Now I'm gonna get my little butter bell, and I do add some butter to my oil if I can get it to come off. My mama and them used bacon grease, but I am currently out of the liquid gold. Let me angle y'all down to where y'all can see what I'm doing right here. Okay, don't pay attention to my dirty stove because I need to clean it. But my son has to come home. Josh has to come home and food prep, like meal prep his lunches and stuff. So there's no sense in me cleaning it in between cookings. But I'm going to add a little bit of peanut oil to my vegetable oil and butter. So we'll start with this peanut oil first. And I added just about a half a bottle of 24 ounces, so about 12 ounces of the peanut oil. And then we're going to add about 12 ounces of the vegetable oil. Now, that is going to give it a really good taste. It's going to have a higher smoke point because you've got that peanut oil in there. And y'all, it's just going to make the best fried, crispy chicken ever. I'm just going to swish this butter around a little bit so it's not all in one spot. Make a little noise. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Ooh. So my trick is to take a little bit of flour or a little piece of that chicken and wait for it to float to the top and get bubbly. That way we know we're ready to cook. So I just dropped a little piece in there and it just floated up to the top. We're gonna do it one more time just to make sure we are ready to go. We'll do it right there. And as you can see, it's gonna be floating to the top here in just a second. You do not want to cook too high on cast iron, so I've got it right about medium. And we're just going to go ahead and start putting our chicken legs in. And the oil will come up enough to where it'll be about halfway over the chicken. So do not panic. But also do not overcrowd your pan either, because you want to make sure you have enough room to where that chicken will cook evenly. So I'm gonna start and probably do this over here. I'm probably gonna put one more piece in this pan. I know some people might be scared of making fried chicken. We'll just follow right along with me. So I have 7 pieces of chicken in here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of chicken left in my container. So hopefully I can fit another round and maybe squeeze one extra in there if I can. Now I'm gonna find my lid to my skillet. I do have a Lodge lid that fits this. I believe this is a 12-inch skillet, and I'll try to link it. That way if y'all are interested in this cast iron skillet, you'll be able to pick one up for yourselves. So I'm just gonna put the lid over it. It's got, of course, the vents on the side, so it's not gonna hurt a thing. It's just gonna keep from making a big old mess with the chicken splattering. Now I'm gonna cook it for about 10 to 12 minutes on each side. These, I'm probably gonna do 11 minutes on each side. All right, so we are gonna easily take this lid off carefully. Hold on. I was toasting up some coconut too for our cake. Multitasking here, y'all. Multitasking. This is really what I do. So now we're just going to go ahead and give that chicken a flip. You can see that it is nicely cooked and golden brown. And we're just going to flip that to the other side and cook it for about 10 more minutes. That lid back on it. So 10 more minutes and this batch will be done. I tell y'all, I am burning up. Ooh, I'm staying underneath this air conditioning vent. It is warm. Might have to put my hair back up for a little bit. I love to keep it up while I'm cooking, but I had a piece that kept falling down here where I have the layers cut in my hair. So once that chicken is done frying, then we'll just go ahead and fry that okra up on in that same oil. It'll be perfect. It ain't gonna hurt a thing. And then we'll be ready to eat supper. And then after supper, we'll ice that cake or frost it with the whipped icing, whatever you want to say. And then we'll cut on into it and have a nice dessert for Sunday supper. All right, so while that last batch of chicken is frying up, we're gonna go ahead and put the Cool Whip right on top of this. And it takes the full container. I'm just breaking it up into sections. That way it doesn't tear the cake up. But we're just gonna put an even layer, or as even as you can. Now I did go ahead and toast up some coconut to put on there. I'm gonna mix just the regular coconut with the toasted coconut. That way we have both textures going on. Josh just got home. I think he's excited for this. Oh, yeah. Now that's left for me. So we're gonna start by putting some fresh coconut. This is just the sweetened shredded coconut. And we'll just put that right over the top. I've probably used about a 1/4 cup of the coconut flakes. And now we're going to use the coconut that I toasted up a little bit and put that right over the top. This is going to be so good. Just to kind of give it some more color. I really want to eat this now instead of after supper. We're going to go ahead and put the lid on it, put it in the fridge until we're done having supper. So, do y'all save your Cool Whip containers and your butter containers to take to like family get-togethers and bring home leftovers? When I was a little girl, I never knew what was butter or what was Cool Whip or anything in my mama's fridge because she saved all of her butter containers. Didn't she?
And it's always chilies.
It's always
beans or chili.
So, I do save mine for that reason. I don't really have many butter containers though, but I do have some Cool Whip containers. It's just a thing. You grow up, you remember these little bitty things that just kind of bring back good memories for you. I sure do miss her though. All right, y'all, so I've got supper done now. We're gonna go ahead and get our plates fixed and sit down and have supper together on this beautiful and blessed Sunday. So we got our broccoli, we have our fried chicken, our fried okra, and our baked beans. Yummy in my tummy. All right, y'all, here is the finished product. This is gonna be so good. Would you just look at that chicken? So good. There's the okra and the broccoli. Yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, so Josh can't wait to get into this cake, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. And my little slicer, hold on. All right, I'm gonna set this here. I'll go ahead and cut it. I know this cake is gonna be, it doesn't even feel like I'm cutting through anything, Josh. I hope it don't fall apart. All right, so Josh got his piece. Now let's see if we can get one out of here that doesn't fall apart. That way I can show y'all. Look at that. Can you see it? Oh my goodness.